So why do we pot up? Why not just plant the seed directly in your final pot? For me, I use 10 litre or 12 litre pots for my final pot size. It would be a lot easier if I could just put the seed directly in that pot and let it grow. Well, there's a couple of reasons why it's beneficial to pot up. The first reason is a practical reason. It's all about space. Where I'm starting my chilies, they're under lights and they're in a small room which I'm able to keep heated. Because of the weather we have here in England, it can be quite cold, not a lot of sunshine, and the seedlings just won't thrive. Having 300 full-size pots inside my growing area just would not be practical. The second and most important reason that we're potting up through multiple pot sizes is because we're trying to balance the growth of our chili plants. Now, when I say balance, I'm talking about balancing the growth above the soil and below the soil. The root system is often overlooked because you cannot see it, but it is possibly the most important part of your plant. Without a solid root system, your plant will never reach its full potential. The bigger the root system, the more nutrients it can absorb and the more growth that's going to be above the soil. When you plant a seed inside a small pot, that root system is growing long before you see any activity above the soil. When you see those cotyledons first appear, that root system has probably already touched the bottom of your seed cell. The root system is going to continue growing and trying to find as much nutrients as it can. It's going to spread and try and find water. And this is why I say don't overwater, especially in the early stages. And definitely do not feed. Because if you're feeding and if you're watering too much, then the roots have no incentive to actually spread. And also they need a little bit of air, they need that drying out in between. But more importantly, from this stage, we need to make sure that we're not giving it everything it needs right at the top and not giving it its incentive to spread itself. So once those roots have spread and it's filled up that seed cell, the roots don't have anywhere else to go, and it's going to think, well, it's time for us to focus our attention on the growth above the soil. We've reached our potential in this pot. Let's start growing some leaves, and you start getting some great growth above the soil. Let that go for a few days, and then it's time to pot up. And guess what? You're going to start that cycle all over again. You put it into a bigger pot, like we've done over here. You'll notice that in the first week or two, probably a bit longer, you won't see much growth at all on top here because that root system is going to be like, whoa, we got some more space, let's grow, and it's going to focus all its attention. The balancing act comes when you look at these leaves. These leaves are going to be absorbing a lot of light and they're going to be producing a lot of energy for these roots to continue growing. Once the roots have mostly filled this pot, it'll start focusing again on the growth at the top. Now, there will be a little bit of growth in between that, but this will really kick into high gear when you start seeing the root system popping out from the bottom of the pot and it starts filling this out. Same story again, don't overwater, don't overfeed. You want this plant to think, man, I got to really search to get some nutrients. I really got to search to get some water. So these roots are going to develop, and we'll see that in a week or two, this plant is going to probably double in size. That's why we go through all this hassle of potting up. It is a pain. When I was doing this originally, I was potting up 4 times, and if you have the time, then do that. So from seed cell, go up to maybe a 200 ml or 250 milliliter pot, then up to a 1 liter, then maybe a 5 liter, and then your final pot 10 liter or 12, whatever you're going with. Because I have so many plants, I have to change my strategy a little bit, and I'm only potting up twice, maybe 3 times, depending on the plant. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, stay spicy.